Good morning, except it's like 3:30. Alright, so, yeah, been kind of in a slump recently. I think we're slowly getting out of it. I'm waiting for this. I have a watch strap. Didn't come in today. Waiting for this bastard to come in. Because I really want to be able to wear my watch again. Got that 55. Alright, so, what was I going to say? I can't remember. I honestly cannot remember. Yeah. Did some light little journaling. I was talking to a friend today, and I was reminded of this anime called Fooly Cooly, or FLCL. Probably seen it before, at least like on the internet. Maybe not like actually seen the anime, but basically this there's a quote from it. Nothing can happen until you swing the bat. I watched the video essay yesterday that reminded me of how much I love this one anime called Gurren Lagann. And there's another quote that's very similar to that, which is, let me see you grit those teeth. It's kind of like, snap out of it, dude. What are you even thinking? And also, you're worth more than what you think, is kind of what the quote means, the second one. Nothing can happen until you swing the bat means if you do nothing, then nothing can change. Today I conversated with some friends on starting an accountability group to keep each other accountable to our goals, to our progress, and I also stumbled upon a lecture by some doctor, I can't remember his name, but he invented this method of ADHD action. Because I do have ADHD. Nobody can fucking tell me that I don't, because I paid $2,800 to do that. Unlike some people, no, you don't have ADHD, you're just being lazy. I paid $3,000 to tell people to shut the fuck up, so they will shut the fuck up, or else I'm gonna beat their ass. Yeah. Basically, he described how frontal lobe functioning is extremely impaired with people with ADHD, and in certain areas, like for example time management, and specifically not perception of time, but more actualization of time. He described how he did this experiment with a high school student who won some Massachusetts state prize for the best science experiment of that year or whatever. And it was essentially, he'd have people with ADHD and non-ADHD people he'd turn on a light, then turn it off, and say how long was that, how long was the light on, or how long was the time interval. And then he also would have the ADHD people in control group do that, fairly similar results, asking them how long it was. Then asking them to replicate, okay, now do that for the same amount of time, completely different results. People with ADHD had extreme difficulty doing this accurately, much more variance than the control neurotypical group. So it's not really about, I know that time is passing, but I can't really do anything with it, if that makes sense. I don't know where that came from, but that's the video that I was watching. It was like ADHD and time blindness, which was uploaded I think like a year ago or something. Didn't know this was a cover. Alright. But basically he outlined this like schema, or not schema, but method to essentially take the frontal lobe out of action. You don't need it, which means that I can do it. It means that the other people with ADHD can do stuff. It's event, response, outcome. So you've got your thing. It's kind of like your initial like reminder. This is the thing that you have to do. It's your actual, not necessarily your task, but the challenge that you're facing, and make this stimulating, make this whatever response. You have to respond to it accordingly. That you want to, and then outcome is what is the outcome of the thing? What's the feedback you're gonna get? Your grade, whatever, right? So online homework platforms, like for math problems and stuff, has actually been pretty good for this specifically, because if you've got homework that you have to do, it's your event, then you've got your response, which is doing the homework, and then your output is the grade from doing the homework. A lot of these grade the homework instantly, which gives you crazy feedback. It's really good, actually, for that, anyways. Now, he suggested taking things and then, for example, daily things, give it a nice... and there's like another schema of this within the habit building space, but yeah, effect, response, outcome. Skinner boxing. But you also, I've found that external reward systems, like for example, you get a little treat when you do homework. Well, number one, I'm formerly pre-diabetic and I'm really trying to cut down on sugar, so little treats are unfortunately not the way to go for me. And I also am somebody who's like, oh, if the treat is, for example, something that I enjoy, 5-minute of video game for 10-minute of homework, respectfully, that's how I relax. I think it sounds unwise to me to try to put relaxation behind a barrier of you have to do this first. Because do it first, truly. But it's somebody else put it the same way. If I had to put a need, but now if it's something that you want that you can go without but you would rather not, like video games is a bit of a weird example, but like truly relaxing, sleep, shit like that, where you need that in order to be able to work effectively, that stuff you don't want to put behind a barrier. That's not touchable. However, something like if you want to go and buy something nice for yourself, and you have spare income to do this, I think what I'm going to start doing is having a thing that whenever I do this 1 days of work effectively for school, I'm going to offer myself $5. Doesn't have to be now, but it's $5 of this is what I am allowed to spend on myself, on shit that I want. Call it a personal allowance. Because I mean, I've been working jobs, and jobs, I don't mind it because I get paid to be there by the hour, you know? But if I get a good day's worth of work done, $5. Sounds like nothing, but if I start working 7 days a week, that's $35 I'm allowed to spend on myself. That means food, that means something else. Now, I have to figure out a way to like set this up, because it sounds very effective. This is my current theory though. This is like what I'm gonna start. Ooh, I'm a little over my time. I'll try to wrap this up. But yeah, effect, response, output. I've got an accountability group that's going to start happening soon. Give you updates as we go. God. You know, I hate procrastinating, like so much. It's such a pain in the ass. Yep. Alright, that's all I want to say on that. Talk to you later. Bye.